Welcome, fellow creatures of the night, to this special Halloween meeting of the Midnight Culture Club. Here we venture deep into the nocturnal lands of the strange, the morbid, the absurd and the obscure in film, books, TV, fairy tales, urban legends and many other forms of pop culture. We discuss and analyse these texts to explore the fascinating ways they reflect, comment on, and critique the world we live in from its darker side. My name is Xenia, I'm still the over-motivated nerd in the club, and today I'm not alone, partly because the spirits of Halloween are with me, of course, but even better than that, Anna, not unlike a spirit sneaking back into the land of the living on Halloween night, has returned.
Hi!
Hello!
I love your intro.
Thank you.
Sorry, were you about to say something else?
Yes, you're back by popular demand, did you know that?
Am I?
Yeah, like 2 people said they thought it was great.
How many? 2 out of how many?
2 out of, I think, like 20 who listened to the episode, so that's 10%. That's good.
Oh.
I think that's quite good. They were like, oh, Anna was so nice.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
I don't know if that's... I feel like that is popular for, you know, when you count voting engagement.
Yes.
And then, like, out of the 4 people who voted, 2 said that I should come back.
Yes. Kind of like that.
But there's a population of 20.
Yes. And the
20
others
people, that's
were
a lot
just
of people.
Quiet. Yeah, this one, the one you were on had kind of the medium amount of plays so far. The first one had like 42, I think.
That's
so
a
far.
lot.
Yeah, it's nice. It's fun.
Nice.
Yeah, the most recent one has like 15, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense that like the oldest one has the most because
I haven't listened to it yet, and I listen to you on loop.
Oh,
Just when I go running in the forest. Which I do.
I love that. Everyone should do that.
I don't know if it will count it. Would it?
It does count. It counts the plays and the kind of different devices that played separately.
Oh.
So you see how many plays there are and how many different devices. And there is kind of on average like twice as many plays as devices. So some people listen to it several times.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I think my mom, she has listened to it to fall asleep too.
That is so sweet.
That is
That
cute.
is incredible.
Yeah.
But does this mean I have to take my laptop when I go running in the woods now? So that it's a different device?
Yes.
Oh no.
That sucks.
Well, thank you for this look behind the curtain.
Of course. But tonight, as is suitable for Halloween night, we have some ghost stories. We're going to tell some ghost stories.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. But first, I have a random fun fact that's kind of pod related that I learned at uni in my lecture. Do you know where the term hocus pocus comes from?
No.
It comes from like pre-Reformation sermons when the church in Europe was Catholic and they spoke Latin. So the sermons were in Latin, but people didn't understand Latin.
Oh no.
Yes. And so when the priest said hoc est meus corpus, people were like, oh, that's hocus pocus, obviously.
That is so pre-Reformation.
Yeah. Oh, that pre-Reformation memery.
Do you know which country it started in?
I think it's probably like German speaking.
Yeah.
I believe. I don't know, my lecturer didn't say where it came from, but I would guess it's sort of German speaking countries. Because like I feel like Romance language countries would understand what it means.
Yeah. But I was thinking like maybe England?
That's possible as well.
Or like Great Britain?
Something Germanic.
Yeah.
Mm.
It would be funny if the Italians came up with it.
That would be amazing. I'd be like, oh, I don't understand that bloody Latin.
Interesting that it evolved into something like
a magic spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Those Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Always
those
coming
Christians.
with stuff.
But of course that kind of fits the Halloween theme, where we also talk about how something that's like a religious holiday also kind of became, well, first pagan and then kind of made religious again, and then it's a whole thing with all the sides being for it and against it.
Yes. we were also talking about how in the northern hemisphere the holidays are kind of off because
Yeah.
autumn
It's
or
too
like
short.
fall is too short.
Yeah. Should be longer.
It feels mean to us fall girls.
It's not cool.
No.
Yeah, I'm against that.
Me
We're
too.
gonna officially apply for a longer fall season.
Fall should last until December.
Yes.
That is my humble opinion.
You're right.
Thank you.
You're absolutely correct.
And Easter shouldn't exist.
Overrated.
Hot takes.
Easter, but it's only the chocolate.
Oh, Easter, but it's only the flowers and the bunnies and the chocolate.
Yes. Yeah.
And the lamb. I actually like the lamb.
In Greece, people go into their garden and roast like whole lambs, and it's a whole thing. It's wild.
A little bit. I mean, I can't say anything about it because I just came home from Brazil where people eat chicken heart.
Oh, interesting. But I mean, I guess heart is kind of... I mean, it's like just a muscle, so it's probably quite nice.
It's very delicious. It's got the best spice. Like, not spice, but like the best flavor.
Yeah. That's already very witchy, the chicken heart.
Yeah, it is. But it's very summer witch. It's like very summer. You're on a beach. You've got like your little shells and your little chicken hearts that you roasted on a barbecue.
Delicious. Good times. So for Halloween, I really wanted us to have a little cozy gathering around the crackling fireplace, wind howling outside kind of vibe. So we've got a lovely range of different ghost stories, some like shorter ones, some longer ones, and also some games that you bats and cats and kittens can all play along with Anna.
Oh my god, bats and cats and kittens.
Bats and cats and kittens.
That should be the new ladies and gentlemen.
So, I have to say it's not a content warning, but a disclaimer. I have to say, to my shame, I have used Wikipedia as a source for this episode.
That might be the scariest thing right now.
Right. So, there might be some things that are not accurate.
That's fair enough.
But I thought because it's like ghost stories, what is real and isn't is kind of blurry anyway, so here we go. I would like to start with a haunted would you rather question for you, Anna.
Okay. I love a would you rather.
I know.
I love to be asked things.
So my first one is classic ghost story based. Would you rather be a 19th century ghost who can physically manifest and change outfits, or would you rather be a modern ghost that always stays the same but can float through walls and objects?
Oh, that is... Oh, goodness. Do I get to pick the outfits?
That's the question that continues on, yes. There's a follow-up question on this. That's what would your scariest haunting costume be?
I love how you already assumed I would pick the first one.
Yes.
You were like, Anna needs an outfit change.
I was just thinking of the Canterville Ghost.
I don't know what the Canterville Ghost is.
It's a ghost story by Oscar Wilde, and it's so fun.
Oh my goodness.
It's a very fun ghost story. I've actually thought about doing that as just like a little dramatic reading, as like a bonus thing at some point.
I would love that.
Basically, this ghost story about this American family that moves into an old castle in England, and it's haunted. And they just don't respect the ghost, and the ghost gets really mad.
Honestly, me as a ghost.
Amazing. It's so good. And then at the end, it gets a bit sad.
Aww.
It's an amazing story. It's one of my favorite ghost stories.
I would love to hear that. Well, clearly the outfit ghost.
Obviously.
Like, who needs to float through doors?
Unnecessary.
Unless, as a ghost, can I touch things?
If you're the physical yes.
Oh, yeah.
You can touch things, you can move stuff like a normal person.
And can people see me?
Yes.
So everyone sees me?
Yes.
How is that different from living?
You're dead. And your job is to scare people.
I would love for my job be to scare... I don't know if that's the right sentence. That does not feel grammatically correct.
You're close.
Okay, yay. I've always aimed for like an 80% on any test, so you know.
don't need more than that.
Yeah, like try telling that to my little overachiever heart.
Fair enough. So yeah, I'm glad you're the 19th century ghost.
Well, clearly.
But what is your outfit?
Oh, I can change it up like Polly Pocket. I feel like I really enjoy. So, wait, have you played The Sims?
No.
So when you customize your own characters, you can make an outfit.
That was my joint cracking.
It's giving bones clattering.
Yeah.
So in The Sims, when you do your character customization, you can choose outfits for every single event.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's like you have a workout outfit, and then you have like your normal daily outfit, your elegant outfit.
Yeah, lovely.
And I think I would do that.
That's good. Yeah.
But I think it's always a frilly shirt and just high-waisted pants.
That's a good look.
Wait, pants is the wrong word. Trousers. Because if just a frilly shirt and just underwear.
That would be fun too. One of the ghosts in BBC Ghosts only wears underwear.
Oh
Or maybe,
God.
I think he doesn't even wear underwear. I think he's just wearing like a shirt and like a suit jacket, but then nothing on the bottom.
Those comedians sure know how to write a comedy, huh?
They do! It's very funny.
Surprising. Okay.
They're doing well.
My quick question to
Yes.
you. What would your... No, I don't know why I'm asking this question. I just started thinking about like hearts underwear. And then I
Yes.
went to like, oh, well, recently I saw pumpkins on an underwear.
I love that.
Tiny little pumpkins. Isn't that
That
so
is
cute?
adorable.
And then I was thinking, why isn't there also like little black cats underwear?
There should be.
And like, what else? Like
Little
Halloween.
bats. Little ghosts.
Oh my god. Batman would love the bats one.
He would.
What if Batman wears like little red robins and Robin wears little bats? Quick question.
Yes.
I'm derailing so hard right now.
That's good.
Is Batman Robin's sugar daddy, or is he like his adoptive father? Or is he like, is this like a
I think it depends on the version.
slave?
I mean, I have been to a bar where in the bathroom there was a sticker on the wall of Batman giving Robin a blowjob.
Oh well, we always know bars are the most reliable source.
The best source.
Write that down for your next
Yes,
pod.
I should.
Yeah, pretty sure. I haven't been drawn to like long dresses lately, but I think I would have started out my ghost journey in like whatever Kitty wears in Ghosts by BBC.
Yes, the like Georgian dress.
But like early Georgian.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sort of pre-Regency.
Mm.
So one of the first 3 Georges.
There's so many of them.
There's 4 of them in a row. It's crazy.
At least it's not the Henrys.
Oh, the Henrys.
Too many Henrys.
Too many Henrys. Not. How many? I think there's. Was Henry VIII the last?
Yeah, because they were like...
Everyone's like, oh, we're not doing that again. No.
I don't know if he was the last, but it would be the vibe.
Yeah.
I would rather... Okay, so if I am a ghost and I
Yes.
get to choose my own wardrobe,
Yes.
I'm giving up all gender norms.
Nice.
Also giving up, like, pronouns and names.
Yeah, you're just the ghost.
Exactly.
But yeah, I like the idea of giving up all gender norms as a ghost. Like the aliens we had last time. Yeah.
I'm wearing, like, cravats and I'm wearing, like, crazy skirts and, like, crazy,
That's cool.
like, waistcoats.
Stunning. We love it.
Why not?
I like that. I like the historical ghost look.
Slay.
It's a good one.
Me too. What would you wear?
I think it depends which place I'm haunting. It has to fit the place.
Slay.
I would like to haunt like a dodgy music venue, and then my ghost outfit would be like Courtney Love cosplay because she's scary.
Ripped tights and, like...
And then I can like do the bleach blonde hair without worrying about it breaking.
Oh,
That's
yes.
good too. And yeah, and then you can just like smear your makeup a little bit. Just be like a spooky
Biba doobie.
punk ghost.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then you can like creep onto people, and at first they think, oh, she's just someone who's at this show. But then they realize, oh, that's a ghost.
How would they know?
I don't know, I have to do something ghosty.
Float?
Float. I don't know, put my hand through... Oh no, I can't do that because I'm a solid ghost.
Yeah, the haunting potential for solid ghosts.
You need like a castle as a solid ghost to haunt effectively.
Yeah, because like if you're not in a castle,
No one will know you're a ghost.
Yeah, like rattle chains. What are you doing? Like making candles flicker, but then even then you have to like kind of blow on the candles for it to flicker.
I think you can do that. I think my model for this is the Canterville ghost.
Yes.
And I think he can do stuff like blow out candles from far away and stuff like that. He can do some of these things.
I see.
Yes, and he can also like take apart his body and like roll around his head somewhere. So I could do that.
Slay.
I could like juggle with my, I don't know, legs. So, since this is a Halloween episode, I think that's become clear, and Halloween is based, or is a modernized version of the Celtic Festival of Samhain, I thought it would be fun to talk about that. And that's how you pronounce it. You pronounce it Samhain, not Samhain. It's spelled Samhain.
Oh.
And a lot of people think it's Samhain or something like that. Because if it was an English word, that's how you would say it. But it's Irish, so it's Samhain. And yes.
Sorry, I just thought I heard screaming.
Ooh.
Sorry. No, I thought it sounded like men shouting. Sorry.
Oh. You know what I think that is? The Foddy are doing like a thing by the forest. They were like chanting something
The
earlier.
what?
Like the scouts.
The scouts.
The scouts.
That is so cute.
They were out there earlier doing like their little chants. It's probably them.
Oh, okay.
That's for the tension. So yeah, Samhain. That's how you say it. I tried to learn Irish for about 2 years, and the only thing I remember is how to like basic pronunciation. So I'm gonna insist on that. So the Festival of Samhain marked the beginning of winter, and together with the springtime festival Beltane, one of the 2 points when the boundaries between this world and the other world, which is the realm of fairies and ghosts, was permeable.
Oh.
We had Beltane, which was a celebration of life, and Samhain was the festival of the dead. And these were the 2 points in time when the boundary between the worlds was supposed to be permeable. And at Samhain, that was when the spirits of loved ones were said to return home. And in anticipation of these visits of their loved ones who had died, people would like set a place at table for them on Halloween night. So these encounters with the dead were not necessarily scary, but sometimes they were longed for and people were looking forward to them.
That is absolutely lovely.
Right, that's so nice.
And I mean, it still is like very present in the Catholic holiday of like All Saints' Day.
Yeah, which is kind of developed from that concept in at least the sort of Celtic Catholic areas.
Yeah. Do you know if the springtime holiday also developed into something?
I'm not sure. Not as far as I know, except maybe for the kind of summer solstice or something like that.
Oh, I see.
But I'm not sure. There's less about that. I think it is because I read that the church deliberately placed All Saints' Day and All Hallows' Day at this date so they could kind of subsume the pagan Halloween tradition into that, and they could be like, oh, we actually invented this.
We love when the church colonizes.
Yeah.
It's
They're good at that.
They're so good at colonizing.
So talented.
Also, just tangent. The springtime is the one with the babies? Or like birth?
I guess.
So were they all
like
getting
the celebration
frisky
of life.
in like summer or like late summer?
Possibly. I think it's more to do with like the cycles of nature.
Oh,
But maybe that was also part of it. I don't know.
They're just like, yay, harvest.
Ooh.
Let's do it.
Yeah, maybe. And then when it's dark and cold and you can't do anything.
But wouldn't the babies then be born more like towards summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then that would make sense, because actually the Spring the Life Festival being that.
I love how
Genius.
we came up with
New lore.
finding out when they did it.
Always important to know. But of course, on Halloween night, on the night of Samhain, there were also bad spirits, and the old winter spirits, they were believed to roam the world as well. And to ward these off, people would dress up as them, and in their costumes they'd go from house to house, sing songs or recite poems, and get food in exchange, which we still see with like kids today.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's kind of stayed. Except they don't sing songs anymore, they just come and expect to be fed. Rude. To the youth of today.
But like, imagine if you just ask kids, no, sing me a song.
Sing me a song first, then you get some sweets.
But that's kind of like caroling, isn't it?
Yes, it's very similar. It's very similar to caroling. But that was not the only reason people would dress up as spirits, but also so that they could misbehave. There's a tradition from Scotland which has a lot of overlap with Ireland, but this is specifically documented from Scotland, where groups of young men in masks would go from house to house and threaten to do mischief if they weren't given a drink.
Oh my goodness. That is so Scottish.
That's very Scottish. So on the one hand, I think it's interesting how the kind of mask allows them to do that. It's kind of like, you know, carnival periods where something similar happens.
Oh yes.
Where kind of certain rules are lifted because you're masked. And I think it's also kind of fun that these two ways of dressing up and going to people's houses are basically the trick or treat thing.
Yes, that is like very interesting.
Right? It's stayed very similar. Like the motivations are the same. People either want nice snacks or they want to like do pranks.
I also find interesting how warding off spirit has something very communal to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That it's about, oh, you have to go and say hi to this other person. You have to go in and visit people.
Yeah.
Or even the singing part of it. It's very interesting to me because that's also something I still do when I'm scared. I kind of sing silly songs.
Yes, that really works.
Yeah, because then you're like, oh, I can't die if I'm singing.
No.
Wait, what's that song? Baby Got Back. Yeah, no one's ever died while singing Baby Shark.
Definitely not.
Next time you watch Jaws.
Love Jaws.
Haven't seen it yet.
It's very it was a lot more entertaining than I expected.
Honestly.
I thought it would be a bit boring because I don't know, I just felt like, oh, it's a shark, wow. But it was very funny and the shark was really cool.
That's, I think, the intended takeaway from
right. It was funny and the shark is cool. But let's get to our first story. Because of Halloween's Irish Celtic roots, our first story is based in Irish ghost mythology, and it's a little medley of spirits that I put together into a story. And this tale, of course, takes place on the night of Samhain. When he woke, he was surprised to find himself under a clear black sky studded with stars. His head buzzed with the wings of 1,000 bees as he lifted it off the tree trunk it had been leaning against. Slowly, his joints groaning as though he hadn't moved them in decades, he rose from the damp grass. Crumbs of soil tumbled from his jacket. He brushed them off and turned to the little church that sat between the crooked tombstones. It was almost midnight. He couldn't remember when he'd fallen asleep or how he'd ended up in the graveyard, although the woozy buzzing in his head and his favourite pub's proximity to the graveyard might have been a clue. Idiot, he mumbled to himself and turned to leave. He would be late again, and she would not like it. His gaze fell on the tombstone, shaded by the trees he'd slept beneath. He could not remember having seen it before. A single word was etched into the dark granite: Blackthorn. The name struck a chord somewhere deep within his chest, but the feeling was not followed by recognition. Perhaps he'd known someone by that name once, a neighbour or a school friend. He shrugged and turned his steps towards the wrought iron gate that separated the little country graveyard from the alive part of the village. "Nice to be out once, isn't it, my dear boy?" A voice sounded from somewhere to his left. His heart dropped into his shoes. This was the first time he met someone in the graveyard at night, and certainly people who struck up conversations in this place at this time had to be a little wacky, or perhaps wily spirits. He had to smile to himself. That was nonsense, of course. He'd spent so much time in between these tombs and in the hills that were said to be fairy mounds, and he had not met a single spirit, not even a basic fairy. He strained his eyes to focus on the place from which the voice had come. A bench tucked away between oak trees and rhododendron bushes. And sat on the bench a slight figure. An old woman, small even for old woman standards. Her long hair was a silvery grey, and so was the cloak she almost disappeared in. "Good evening, ma'am," he said politely. Something moved in her face, which could have been a smile, but he couldn't tell for certain in the dark. "No need to be so formal." "Have we met?" he asked hesitantly. He could have sworn he had never seen her before. "Oh yes," the woman replied. "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember." The old woman sighed. "It happens sometimes with you lot. A shame. I thought you had some real talent. Melodic, not a screamer like me." Thank you." He didn't know what else to say. The woman wasn't making any sense. "Well, on your way then, boy," she said, clearly disappointed by his non-committal answer. He nodded, waved her goodbye, and stumbled further down the path. It was late. He better hurry, or perhaps she wouldn't sit up to wait for him. He knew the way to the cottage where his love lived, even in the black darkness of this night, where the moon hung thin and pale in the sky. How could he forget? The narrow path that wound between the meadows beyond the place where the last houses of the village petered out. The gentle rise the path made as it led into the hills. The gate, long fallen into disrepair, that tried in vain to stop walkers from stepping onto what had, in older times, been known as territory of the fairies. From there, it was less than half a mile to her cottage of bright stones, ducked away under the side of a perfectly spherical hill. This time, the path passed more and more swiftly under his feet, almost without effort. So different from the last time he had walked it, when each step had felt like a curse, his knees weak, his fingers jittering with withdrawal, and his stomach a black pit of sickness. They had all disappeared, the pains and aches and the nausea. Not even the cold night wind that struck his face stung his sunken cheeks. He must have grown completely numb, sleeping out in the October chill. He reached the gate and passed through into the dark hills. The rusted hinges of the gate moaned like a banshee as he pulled it shut behind himself. He turned his eyes back to the hills, and where before there had been nothing but the gentle slopes touched only by the ghostly sheen of the moon, the hills were alive with hundreds of lights. They flickered like fire, but their color was a cold white, almost blue. And between the flames, his tired eyes saw, so he believed, shadows flit, no taller than children, and quick as the fox. He stood petrified, unsure whether to be afraid or enchanted. Looking at the lights, the shadows that were figures that could not be people, looking at them made him feel the same way he felt when he had looked at her. Her. Of course, he could not stop. He had to go and see her. What was he doing here, standing, looking at these strange lights, when at the end of the path she was waiting? He rushed on, passing through between the cold dancing lights, and once or twice he thought he heard a whisper in his ear, and a breath of ice brushing past his cheek. There was the curve, the last curve before the cottage would come in sight. Just a few more steps, 40, 30, 20. And then, finally, his gaze fell upon her. She was sitting on the bench by the open door of her cottage, from which golden light spilled onto the path. Her long flowing hair that fell over her delicate shoulders shimmered in the warm glow. On her knee she held a mandolin, and although her fingers seemed to only idly pluck the strings, the melody that rose from the instrument danced on the wind like a moth, and came to rest on his face as a smile. She was still here. He wasn't quite sure why, but it felt as though he hadn't seen her in a long time. Almost breaking into a run, he hurried the last steps towards her door. She raised her head at the figure standing in front of her, and when she saw him, she laughed. That laugh like pearls that he had fallen in love with the first time he'd heard it. And yet, in this moment, it sounded hollow. "Oh, it's you again." He stepped closer and touched her hand. "Of course, I promised I'd come. I know it got late. I lost the time at the pub. I'm sorry." She shook his hand off. "Stop that nonsense." "I'm sorry." She scoffed. "You never remember." How could he explain to her that since they had met, since she had laid her glowing eyes on him and grasped him, body and soul, firmly in her hand, he did not know what he was doing? Time was forever slipping away, and so was his strength, the colour in his cheeks. And then, after he had composed his best tunes, written his most heartbreaking lines sitting by the fire in her cottage, watched by the row of skulls on the mantelpiece, even his voice and his verse left him. The two things that had filled his mind with colour and light. He drank more every night, couldn't stop himself, and nothing could soothe the sickness in his stomach. It was like a curse. But he loved her, and each time he saw her, she was more radiant than the last, her voice more sonorous, her speech more eloquent, and her fingers coaxed melodies from the mandolin, the like of which had not been heard before by mortal ears. And so with every day he loved her more. "Listen," she spoke to him like a teacher to a slow child. "You can't come back every year. I will never set you a place at my table. You're done. You're spent. I have got all I wanted from you. Now go." "What?" The word escaped his lips before his chest contracted in dull pain, and he was quite sure he could feel his heart shatter to pieces. "I said go." He shook his head violently. This could not be. Fighting against the pain rising in his throat, he pressed out the words, "But I can't live without you." She looked at him with eyes cold as slate. "And you don't have to." He stared at her, not understanding. "Blackthorn," she said, "go back to your grave."
Oh my god.
He's dead.
He's dead? She was kind of mean to him. No, just kidding.
She kind of was.
I want to ask so many questions.
Yes. What are your questions?
I mean, I want to ask why she was mean to him.
She's a fairy spirit called Elaine She. This translates to fairy lover. And the Elaine She is a figure that is a muse and at the same time a harbinger of death and doom. She is usually a female figure. I think there's only one example of a story where it's a male figure. And she's associated with the She. These are the ancient Irish tombs and mounds that were considered to be gates to the other worlds. And basically what her thing is she finds human lovers, and they're always artists. So she instills them with great inspiration and creativity, but draws on their life energy. So they die very young.
It's getting me Courtney Love.
That's
Sorry,
what I was
no offense. Please don't sue me, allegedly.
Allegedly. That's exactly what I thought when I read about this creature. Oops. So these artist lovers, they always die very young. And in some versions of the myth, the Elaine She is kind of like a vampire. So she uses the blood of their deceased lover to prolong their life and their beauty. That's why she's mean to him. Because she's basically a very toxic, abusive person. That's her thing.
That's her thing.
But it's only directed at artists. Do you want to hear what William Butler Yeats says about her?
Go on.
He has a nice quote. He says, or writes, "The Elaine She, fairy mistress," that's how he translates it, "seeks the love of mortals. If they refuse, she must be their slave, but if they consent, they are hers and can only escape by finding another to take their place. The fairy lives on their life, and they waste away. Death is no escape from her. She is the Gaelic muse, for she gives inspiration to those she persecutes. The Gaelic poets die young, for she is restless, and will not let them remain long on earth, this malignant phantom."
Okay, wait.
I think it's such an interesting figure for mythology.
I agree. But also, No offense.
Yeah.
It's typical of a man to blame a woman.
Fair point. I can see that.
You know, it's like, oh no, he didn't just like not actually go to, I don't know what old Celtic therapy would have been like. He didn't go sit on a moss and talk to a person.
Oh, god damn it.
He was enchanted by a fairy.
Yeah, but I feel like what I really like about it is it seems very much like a sort of mythological explanation for like toxic relationships.
Oh, yes.
And I sort of with myths, I'm always kind of curious as to what could this be relating to in the real world.
Mm.
And I think it really fits that. But also the kind of artist element is so interesting. Because I don't... Like, it's a bit of a theme, right? That a lot of the time people who are very creative are also quite self-destructive.
Yeah, the torture ports department.
Yes!
Not to bring up Taylor.
The Len and she loves that. She's
She
like,
is.
that's where I go hunt.
She would love Maddie Healy.
She would.
What are the other, like, myths you put in?
There is also a banshee. Did you find her?
No.
She is the old woman in the graveyard.
Oh.
She has a little cameo. So, the banshee, her name literally translates to woman of the fairy mound. So that's the same she as in the Lane and she. And she is, in a lot of pop culture, she's like this tall young maiden that's very beautiful. But in traditional tales, she's usually described as a small old woman with grey hair. And her size might be there to represent that she's a fairy and not a person. But no matter what she looks like, the banshee is a spirit that foretells death with her heart-breaking mourning wail. And if the cry of the banshee is heard in the night, someone in the family of the person who hears it is foretold to die, or sometimes they themselves too. And this is believed to be kind of linked to the sort of traditional mourning ritual that they did in Ireland, which included women who sometimes were professionals who kind of wailed a lament for the dead person.
Oh.
And because she's a banshee, she already knew Bestie who's dead, but he doesn't remember her because he doesn't know he's dead.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
I find that interesting because like screaming and crying can be so cathartic.
Yes.
But then to like hire someone to do it for you. Capitalism. Also, I would love that job.
Right?
Yeah.
That
like,
sounds like a good job.
Yeah, just like hire me to scream at your funeral. The precursor of heavy metal.
Yes. Love that. Heavy metal is actually invented by old Irish ladies.
Definitely.
So yeah, the banshee was there. She was chilling in the graveyard.
I did not realize that.
That's why she says she's a screamer.
I thought there might be
A weird joke.
That took me a second. Yeah, I thought you might be just like an old like observer guide or something, but I didn't realize she was a banshee.
She is.
I thought of banshees, as you said, as like tall young women.
Yeah, that's kind of the more popular version in like sort of modern iterations. But traditionally she can be either.
Yeah, so that's Hosier's grandmother.
Oh, speaking of Hosier, who do you think the protagonist is?
Blackthorn.
Blackthorn.
Yeah.
He's Hosier. The most mythical of Irish creatures.
Wait, what?
I have included a few Hosier references. In my head, I imagined Hosier.
Slay. Though I feel like Hosier wouldn't be that pathetic.
Wouldn't he?
Okay, I take it back. Go on.
Also, he's being manipulated, so, you know,
Slay.
what's he gonna do? No, I mean, first of all, he mentions bees in the second sentence. The Blackthorn name, that comes from, I don't know which song it is because I don't actually listen to Hosier, but I had Hosier in my head, so I was like, I need Hosier references.
Yes.
There's a lyric that is something like, if I was born as a blackthorn tree.
Oh.
Like, the one where he says, oh, I could be felled and you could burn the pyres of your enemies with the wood. And I think that describes the dynamic of the relationship really well.
What song is it?
Wait. It's the NFWMB.
Oh, nothing messes with my baby.
Oh.
I am not swearing. The F stands for something else.
I can imagine that. Yeah, that one.
Have you listened to the song?
I haven't. I'm so bad. I'm referencing shit I don't know. I just looked at Hosier.
Do you want my Hosier band t-shirt to go around and wear?
Yeah. I just feel like I can't do like an Irish legend not mention Hosier.
That is
like
fair
he's
enough.
part of the mythology at this point.
I sort of didn't realize it was him because I imagined the poet to be short and have very short hair.
Oh yeah. Depending on how you imagine him, he would like not give Hosier. In my head, I saw him the whole time. And also, what does he do in the story? He returns from his grave to the person he loves.
See, the more you mention it, the clearer it becomes. But that fan theory just went over my head.
That's fine. I just like coming up with Irish mythology based Hosier fan fiction. Because even though I don't even listen to Hosier, it's the second time I've done that.
Wait, what was the first time?
The one about that he's the child of a banshee and of Kurt Cobain.
Yes.
And then our friend Charlotte has to save him from his curse.
I don't know if she'll appreciate being fanficked into.
She loved it, excuse me. So, this story, Hosier is the child of a banshee and Kurt Cobain, and because of that he wants to scream. Like, that's his natural way of expressing himself. But because his mom's a banshee, his scream is deadly. So he can't scream because he would kill people, and he doesn't want to do that.
Yes.
So he only screams when he's alone in the middle of the night. But then one time, his love followed him in the forest and heard him scream, and then they died. And now he's cursed. I mean, he's been cursed from the beginning with the death scream, and then Charlotte is the only one who can save him.
She also has a place on her table for him.
Oh, she does. If he's a ghost and comes back, she'll always have a place at her table for him.
I don't know, her like table may not be long enough for his legs to be underneath it.
That's a good point.
But she can make her table longer. You know, she's got one of those foldable tables.
Oh well, in that case, that's no problem. Yeah, I don't see any issues with this. Yeah.
I love how you tricked everyone to listening to Hosier fanfiction. AO3 has nothing on you.
Honestly, they can go home. And again, why do I write Hosier fanfiction when I'm not even a Hosier fan? Like I don't have anything against him. I think he's cool, but I don't actively listen to Hosier. I just think he's a good story character.
He's weirdly enough your muse.
He is, even though I never think about him except when I make up stories about him.
About Irish folklore?
Yes. Yes, he's just a good Irish folklore protagonist.
I
What can we
mean,
do?
you could, if we're going Irish folklore, you
Yes.
could also have used, Bono?
Yeah, but come on.
Niall Horan? Wait, who else is Irish? Sinead O'Connor?
Okay, Sinead O'Connor would have been cool.
Yeah. Though I love that you've just written Hosier fanfiction.
And I did research.
I love how your Hosier fanfiction is just, he goes to a house and he gets scolded by a fairy. You're like, you just took one look at that man and you went, you know what you give the vibes of? Dead and pathetic. Oh, poor Hosier.
Yeah, he's got the suffering artist thing. So, should we do a game?
I would love to do a game.
Lovely. Have you ever seen X Factor? Not the casting show, but the one with the scary stories, and allegedly some of them are true. They're usually not actually true. By the
You
way,
mean the one with the...
with Jonathan Frakes?
With, like, the guy who, like, believes in alien and the really sexy lady?
No.
And
That's
then they, like,
X-Files.
kiss. Oh.
That's X-Files. No, X Factor is like, I think 5 short stories per episode.
Oh, I used to hate that.
Good.
I'm so sorry, no. know. I got so traumatized by one of the stories. Go
Which
on.
one? I think I know which one.
No, the one with the roses.
Oh no, that's not the one that most
Which
people are
one
traumatized by.
are you thinking of?
The one with... And this, if you look at the X Factor Wikipedia page, this is specifically mentioned as traumatizing children. It's the one with the red eyes that float around in the kitchen, and then afterwards there's like the nanny and she has the red eyes. Oh, it's terrifying.
The audience cannot see the face I just pulled. But it's a mix of probably terrifying and like disgusted.
It's honestly, that scared the shit out. It still scares the shit out of me.
Oh god.
Like this week, my sister sent me a reel from that episode, and I swear that evening I wanted to go to bed and I had to go to the bathroom and I was so scared.
Oh no.
It's like, I have to go into that dark hallway by myself? No.
I usually have a very good take on being terrified about things.
Mm-hmm.
Where either I start singing songs.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Like any funny song with the exception of like actual children's songs.
Yes, because they can be scary.
Those are really scary.
Yeah.
Or I just go, yeah, just kill me. You know, what's the worst that can happen?
True. Yeah.
I'll just die. Don't have to pay taxes anymore.
Exactly. So yeah, the reason I brought up X Factor is because I stole the concept for this game.
Yeah, go on.
So there will be 3 stories, because otherwise it's going to be a bit long.
Yes.
And I will read them to you one after the other, short ones. And at the end you will have to decide which of them are true and which I made up. Any number of false or true is possible. So they could all be false or all be true, or 1 could be false, or 3 could be... No, not 3. 2 could be false.
Okay.
So...
Let's go.
But they are all things that are... They don't have like ghosts, they have like weird events.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
no.
Because, you know, I wanted to have things that I can actually fact check the ones that are true.
I see, yes.
Yes. Let's start with story number 1. Sigurd the Mighty, Eystein's son, was a great warrior.
That's false. No, I'm just... That's too
Wait.
silly. Sorry, no, go on.
He was a great warrior, okay? He had fought valiantly against the rogue exiled Vikings that settled on the Shetland and Orkney Islands, and who from there returned like avenging ghosts to raid their Norwegian homeland. So the Norwegian Vikings didn't like them, and Sigurd went and defeated them. He won victory against them, and he also got the title of Earl of Orkney. Unfortunately, this was not enough for Sigurd. He wanted more. And so he challenged a local ruler, Mael Brigde the Bucktoothed, that's his name, to a 40-man-a-side battle. But Sigurd didn't fight fairly. He brought 80 warriors to the fight,
Oh.
instead of 40, and because of that defeated Mael easily. And after this treacherous victory, Sigurd cut off Mael's head, attached it to his saddle as a trophy, and began to ride back home.
Okay, quick question.
Yes.
If you're just like turning up to the battle,
Yes.
you've got 40 men.
Yes.
You look at the other side and you're like, wait a minute. Wouldn't you just go like, dishonor on your house?
I guess, yeah.
Wait, go on.
Plot hole.
It's like either he needed glasses very badly, or he needed math.
Yes, one of the... I mean, he's in like the 9th century or something like that, so I don't know if they have glasses or maths.
You don't think they can count up to 4? Like, if they can count up to 40, then they should be able to count up to 80.
That's true. You should just like be like, no, I'm not doing that.
It's like,
If
dude.
you're obviously cheating.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mael is dead. Sigurd cuts off his head and puts it, like attaches it to a saddle as a trophy, and rides back home. Now, little did he know, Mael had not yet given up the fight. He's dead and beheaded, but he's coming for revenge because Mael Brigde's famous bucktooth scratched Sigurd's leg as he rode. The wound first became inflamed, then septic, and soon Sigurd died, slain by his enemy from beyond the grave.
Oh my goodness. Here's the thing.
Yes. You can have some thoughts, you don't have to decide yet.
Okay.
You can decide at the end.
I think you're a very creative person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you would come up with his teeth scratched the other guy's leg. That's how the other guy died.
Yeah, that is certainly very specific.
It feels a little too horrible histories.
It does sound quite horrible histories, doesn't it? But also I've seen a lot of horrible histories, so maybe I can replicate horrible histories. I mean, I can do Hosier fan fiction. So.
You are a person of many facets.
Exactly.
A writer of many quills.
Indeed.
Did you notice I wanted to say pens, but then I was like, no, quills.
Yes.
For
I
this
like
episode.
That. So yeah, and that's story number 1. They're all very different, by the way, very different kinds of events. So, here's story number 2. In 1695, a woman called Marjorie McCall came down with a severe fever and lost consciousness. Her family believed her to be dead, and to stop the spread of the disease, Marjorie was quickly buried. Just a few hours later, grave robbers who frequently lurked in the graveyard, looking for promising fresh graves from which they could steal expensive tokens buried with the dead, opened Marjorie's grave. They were after an expensive ring that she wore when she was buried. And because it is a bit tricky to take a ring off a dead body, the grave robbers attempted to cut the finger off. They had the fright of their life when the dead and buried Marjorie suddenly began to scream. In their fear, they ran off, and Marjorie rose from her grave quite alive and made her way back home. There, she knocked on the door, and upon hearing the knock, her husband, who was sitting by the fire with his children, said to them, "If I hadn't buried your mother, I would swear that was her knock." Mr. McCall went to open the door, and then he saw his wife that he had buried that day standing before him. Mr. McCall fainted, and so the story goes, his hair went white overnight. When Marjorie really died many years later, and after having another child, she was laid to rest in a grave that can still be visited today. Yes.
After having another child?
Yeah, she had another child.
I don't know why it's funny to me
Why?
that he was like, well, since you're here.
I mean, I think she lived for quite, 10 years or something more.
Oh,
so I guess they would have had another child at some point.
Okay, sorry.
She
Yeah,
was still quite young. Her grave can still be visited today, and its tombstone reads, "Marjorie McCall lived once, buried twice."
Ooh. This one rings true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think this one's very true.
Sounds plausible.
Yeah.
People being buried alive happened back then. Yeah.
Yeah, and they couldn't really decide what death was for a long time.
Mm-hmm. It was really hard to tell.
I think it was very late until they found heartbeats.
Yeah.
And even if you can't find a heartbeat, that's why graveyards used to have little bells.
Yes, they had the little bells where if people moved, you could hear the bell ring outside the grave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying if you think about it.
I think it's a very good plan, except it doesn't account for the existence of wind.
That's fair enough.
Wind just destroys the system. Seems like that could be plausible, you think?
Yeah, I do think.
Good. Let's get story number 3. The 3rd of March, 1876, was a clear sunny day in Olympia Springs, Kentucky.
Ooh, we're in the United States.
We're in the United
We're
States
in
of
the
America.
USA. My pronouns are... No, I'm just kidding.
That's where we are. On this seemingly ordinary day, one Mrs. Crouch was busy boiling soap in her garden when suddenly what looked to her like large snowflakes sailed from the sky. Mrs. Crouch was surprised by this. The day was much too warm for snow. So she inspected the small objects more closely, and she realized that they were not cold, and neither did they melt, and instead they had the texture of meat.
Oh no.
Mrs. Crouch found this mighty strange.
Yeah.
And also a little rude that meat flakes had fallen into her high quality soap. And she was not the only one, obviously. Other inhabitants of Olympia Springs who had noticed the meat particles began to investigate. Some of them found particles that were several square centimeters large, so they were quite big. Anna is making a very disgusted face.
Oh, I'm kind of...
It is gross.
Is it going in the direction that I think it's going to go?
I don't think so.
Okay. So please hurry up.
Okay. So, 2 brave souls even cooked and tasted
No!
those things.
Don't taste the weird sky particles.
Don't eat the sky meat.
That is like a detective in like those detective series where he just puts his finger into something and licks it.
Oh, that's poison.
This is cocaine. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And they confirmed that these were shreds of fresh meat. They said it tasted fresh. And they said it tasted like mutton or game. But no one, not even the people from the nearby Louisville College, like the scientists who tried to figure out what it was, who searched far and wide for an explanation, could find anything that could fully explain where the meat had come from. The incident never repeated itself again. And to this day, nobody knows why on March 3rd, 1876, a shower of meat fell on Olympia Springs, Kentucky.
I don't need to know everything. I actually would prefer not knowing certain things.
You don't want to know where the sky meat came from.
I think it's a punishment of God.
That sounds fair.
They did something really
weird. They must
weird.
have done something weird. Mm-hmm. Does it sound real?
Yeah, it sounds very real, which is why it freaks me out even more. I mean, I thought at first, oh, a bird got stuck in a plane.
Yes.
But then you were
too
like
early for that.
18 something.
Yes.
Planes didn't exist.
No planes.
Sky particle, like weird meat particles from the heavens.
Yes.
Literally manna from the heavens for those guys who ate it. Not to like bring up an obscure Bible reference. Or like, I don't know if that's in the Torah as well.
I think it might be.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, it's definitely a very bad idea to eat the sky meat.
Don't eat sky meat.
Don't do that, no.
Anything that falls from like the heavens.
You shouldn't eat it.
No.
Like, I understand when you're a child and you want to eat snow. I get it.
Yeah.
That was me. But maybe it's not the best idea because of pollution. So yeah, what is your verdict?
I kind of think you're trying to trick me and they're all true.
Yeah. Pretty much.
The thing is, they are all a little bit too silly goofy. And I think you would have gone more creepy vibes. But they're good stories and you told them very well.
Thank you. Oh, I also have some background info for all of them.
Oh, yay.
So
finally I can find out more about sky meat.
Yes, we're gonna start with Sigurd. So the story of Sigurd is documented in the Orkneyinga saga.
Mm-hmm.
That's a medieval chronicle that documents events that took place in Orkney and Shetland up to the 13th century. Now, the thing is, not everything in the chronicle can be confirmed as true by sort of modern standards, because basically it was these writers in the 13th century that tried to reconstruct stuff that happened like 300-400 years earlier.
Yeah.
And one of those stories is the one of Sigurd and the biting head. But it is a historical document. It is generally accepted as something that happened. And it was in horrible histories. So it must be true.
I mean, it's not that far-fetched that if you were just in battle and you put the rotting head of your enemy very close to where you probably have wounds.
Yes. It's not a good idea.
Like, you're gonna die.
Yeah. Then, Miss Marjorie. So, that story is also a little bit contested. But because there are similar stories from different European countries, so there's some people who think it's a legend, but there's a historian called Jim Conway, and he spoke with BBC Northern Ireland and the Irish Independent, so it's like somewhat reliable sources, and he says that this is very likely true in this situation. This happened in a town called Lurgan in Ireland, and there is records in the public records office of actually several women called Marjorie McCall who died in that town around the right period.
Yes.
So it could be one of them. Also, 3 of them were married to a guy called John, and according to the story, the man is called John. So it like there's people who could be that, but there is a bit of debate over that. There's also no records in the parish book itself, but apparently a lot of those records were also lost in the famine. So it's kind of hard to say. But there's at least this one historian who is convinced that it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a few things that point to it possibly being true. So for an X Factor story, that's pretty well based.
Yes.
And as you said, like, a lot of it seems quite plausible that they would bury someone alive, which is something that is confirmed that happened.
Yeah.
And that grave robbers, which there were a lot of at the time, would maybe dig up someone who was still alive.
I mean, I feel like if you go even like 100 years back, it's so easy to get so many myths that are just documented as stories, or stories that are documented as myths. So
yeah, it's very difficult to say with older accounts. You'd have to have like several independent sources reporting about it at the same time, and not copying from each other and so on.
I mean, even nowadays it's so hard to like actually tell what's going on in certain instances. So
absolutely. And then the sky meat.
The sky meat.
The sky meat is actually really well documented.
No.
Yeah. There's an article in the New York Times from March 10th, 1876, that first reports it. There was also a local paper at kind of the same time that reported it, independently from each other. And they do also mention different sources from the town who said that this happened. One of them is Mrs. Crouch. I don't know if she complained about the meat falling into her soap. I made that up. So that's fake news. But yeah,
fair enough.
There were a lot of people who tried to explain this, like scientists from nearby universities and so on. They had interesting ideas. One of them was that it was frogs' eggs that had been carried up by the wind.
Oh.
Which makes no sense.
No, why would it be slightly gamey?
Exactly. And also that texture of frogs' eggs is sort of like round and slimy, not like meat.
I mean, not to like fully base my observations on what the guys who ate it said.
Yeah, maybe they're not trustworthy. But they seem like idiots.
Listen, idiots who still gave observations.
They did.
But I don't know if you could cook frog eggs like that.
Right? That shouldn't work.
No, it feels
They would
wrong.
probably like react more like eggs.
Yeah,
or
maybe.
something like that. Just be like little jelly balls.
Maybe like evaporate too much.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's the frog's eggs.
Okay.
I think it's very easy to tell if something is meat or frog egg.
Yeah, and that's also like something that would be familiar to people.
Yes, exactly. I feel like they would recognize it if they would be like, oh, frog's eggs fell from the sky. My favorite version is that not of a scientist, but of the humorist William Livingston Alden, who wrote in the New York Times as well. And he said that it must be meteors that circle the Earth. That's a good one, right?
Yeah, sure.
And he says he'd like some reliable predictions for the meat showers so they can use them effectively. And he'd like some light beefsteak showers, please.
Oh my goodness. It's giving Phineas and Ferb.
Well done, William. But the theory that was come up with by a guy called Kenstein, I think, something like that. He was at the College of Pharmacy at Louisville University, and he said that he believes it was, and this is up to today, the theory that people are most inclined to think might be true, might hold up, and that is that it was meat that was eaten by vultures and then they vomited in the sky, so it spread out over a large area, and that would also explain why it was kind of sort of snowflake shaped. Which is gross.
The more we find out about this, the more I am disgusted by whoever cooked it and ate it.
Yes.
I mean, do we know how much of it fell?
It was on an area of 90 by 45 meters, but I don't know how much of it there was.
Okay.
So it's kind of, I don't know if it was like, I don't know, 1 per square meter or if it was like thick. So it's hard to say. But that is the theory that is up to today considered the most realistic, because there are several types of vultures that live in this area, that are native to this area. So at least there would be that possibility that it's actually vultures because they're there. But I don't know what happens when vultures throw up in the sky.
Me neither.
What do I have something? Oh yeah, there's one more part to the sky meat story. That was in 2004, an artist who, I'm not sure if he's American, he's called Kurt, or he's German, he's called Kurt, because his last name is Gode.
Okay.
So this guy,
Yes.
he found a sample of the mystery sky meat in the archives of the Transylvania University in Lexington. Also love that it's called Transylvania University.
Slay.
Stunning. And had it tested. But unfortunately it was too decomposed to kind of determine what kind of meat it is, like what animal it comes from. But they did a flavor analysis.
No.
And then Kurt, he made jelly beans based on the flavor. And apparently people didn't like them.
Yeah, no. Decomposed sky meat. This is like next level. This is not even the sky meat. This is like sky meat after it's been laying there for more than 100 years. How did it get worse from the guys who ate it? Jelly beans?
Yes.
Wanting to eat the sky meat.
Wanting to eat the sky meat, coming back like 130 years later being like, you know what? I'm gonna make sky meat based sweets.
Listen, anything to feel something, I guess.
Honestly.
Also, how did they preserve this meat? Did they just put it in a file and
They
stick
put
it in
in like a little bottle with like vinegar or something. Or some kind of solution.
Yeah, well, no wonder no one liked that. Mysterious sky meat that's 130 years old.
It's also in some kind of weird liquid. Yeah.
Flavor. That's a great way for saying I just had a little nibble of the sky meat.
I don't know if he did that, but probably.
I mean, how else would he have tasted it?
I guess. I feel like you can do like things where you measure the acidity and other stuff and then try to compose it like that. But I guess someone had to eat it. That is a crazy story.
Some things we don't need to know.
No, that's the story of the sky meat.
Thank you. I hated it. Can we move on from the sky meat?
Yes, the sky meat is over. But for this next part, I will be relying on your expertise.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, first of all, it will be easy for you. It will be me who struggles saying Brazilian words.
Oh, it's Brazilian? Oh, good.
Yes.
I am Brazilian. Both legally and culturally.
Yeah, and you just came back from Brazil.
I am. I'm very Brazilified right now.
Ooh, that's perfect. So this is the perfect moment for this. Like you, our second ghost story is also from Brazil.
Yes.
But first, because there are so many cool little creatures
Yes.
in Brazilian mythology, I want to talk about a couple of them. Because I couldn't just pick one because they are all cool.
Okay. I only have very obscure ones in my brain right now.
Which ones?
Oh no, I have one that's kind of racist.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you picked that one.
I don't think I have any racist ones, no. I have...
Should I look at the names?
Yes. So this is the first one. This lady.
Mulher de branco.
Perfect.
Lady in white.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes, that's the lady in white. Do you know her? Have you
No,
seen
I
her?
haven't heard of her.
Oh, interesting. Because apparently she's the most frequently seen ghost in Brazil. Like the one that people report seeing the most.
Oh.
She's kind of a classic type of ghost that exists in many cultures, like the woman in the white dress. And this Brazilian version is usually said to have died in childbirth. I cannot speak. Or through some sort of violence in the family. Usually from the father or the husband.
It usually is.
And there's this folklorist, he's the author of the Brazilian Dictionary Folklore. This is the translated version. And this guy's name, Ana, is
Luis da Câmara Cascudo. Oh, that's funny. Because Cascão is someone who's like dirty. But I think Cascudo, it refers to like what's the skin of the fruit?
The peel?
Yes, it refers to the peel. So it might be from peel something.
Oh, interesting. Luis, he attributes this ghost to the violent deaths of young white women who, as I said, were often killed by husbands or fathers for sort of honor reasons, is what he calls it. So things like infidelity, and possibly also just because, you know, the husbands or fathers were abusive, just like typical sort of domestic violence situations.
I hate the word typical in there, but
yes.
Very understandable.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Unfortunately. So yeah, what I find really interesting about this version of The Lady in White is that it is a lot more kind of conscious of societal issues than a lot of the, for example, European versions. A lot of the European versions are just, I don't know, women waiting for their lover to return from the war or something. So yeah, I think it's interesting that this has this kind of much more, this tie to this harsh reality.
I find it interesting that a lot of Brazilian just culture in general is often perhaps much more critical than like a lot of people in the West think.
Yeah.
And it often has to do with even, how do I say this? It has a lot to do with critically thinking about what's happening, but also with a certain, I don't know, just culture of being together. One thing that I do want to say about this is that white is a very culturally charged color in Brazil, because it's something that has to do with macumbistas, and it's like I think it's an African religion.
Okay.
That is sort of like a folkloric religion that goes into like bruxarias and like, you know, witchy stuff. And it often also has to do with like rituals, and I'm not explaining this very well. But I know that white is something that's often worn by people of this culture, and that has even seeped into Brazilian culture generally.
Yes.
Which is that you'll wear white on New Year's Day. You also have to like jump over 7 waves.
Oh, where do you get the waves when you're not by the sea?
Because, well, they're all Brazilian.
Yeah.
So it's not that far-fetched. But it's all to honor this one goddess that has to do with, like, I think rejuvenation, but I might be wrong. But yes, it's very interesting that white is a culturally charged color. It's not just a simple...
Yes.
It's very supernatural. Which is, for example, I don't think that is very much so in Europe.
Yeah.
Or, like, in general, Europe, where we...
Yeah, I agree. There's not really... I don't think that... Or I cannot think of a color that's specifically associated with supernatural in European
or like
traditions.
In clothes.
Yeah.
Specifically, yeah.
And yeah, I remember the New Year's Day thing because you have also been wearing white on New Year's Eve.
I did wear white.
Yeah. There's a brief one. This is a sleep paralysis demon. And that's her name.
Pisadeira.
Do you know what that means?
It's to do with, like, stepping.
Yes.
It's to do with, like, stepping on... It's a person who steps on something.
Yes.
Or, like, a thing that steps on something.
then Wikipedia did the translation right.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes, because this is a sleep paralysis demon. Well, it's a witch, basically, who looks like an old woman. And she stomps on people's stomachs when they're asleep. And she has been associated in modern times with sleep paralysis because it kind of fits that phenomenon.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right?
That's fun also that that's like so closely related to what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice.
That's a brief one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this one's my favorite. This creature.
A mula sem cabeça?
Yes. The headless mule.
Yes. Oh, I know this one.
Yes, what do you know about it?
So it's a headless mule.
Yes.
So there's this thing in Brazil called Turma da Mônica, which is like children's illustrations.
Yes.
And then they have... That one is just about like a girl and her friends.
Uh-huh.
Her name's Monica, obviously.
Yes, that makes sense.
And then they have sort of like the dark version of that.
Ooh.
Which is Turma do Peninho or something like Penadinho. And the illustration, and it's so cute, but the illustration is a headless mule, but there's fire coming out of it.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh, okay.
I love it so much. So yeah, it is a headless mule. And even though it's headless, it can neigh very loudly, apparently. Yes. Yeah. And it can spew fire, and then there's different versions. The one that has fire coming from its neck. There's ones that breathe fire through their non-existent nostrils. It might also have a head made of fire. Those are all different versions. They're all metal as fuck. I love it.
I really want to know what you're going to tie this into. What's the larger phenomenon? There were a lot of headless mule running around.
Those headless mules, it's a plague.
Causing fires.
Everywhere. Yes, maybe they're the reason for wildfires.
Headless mules?
Question mark. No, but there's a mythological explanation for them.
Oh, okay.
And that is apparently the headless mule is the spirit of a woman who was cursed. Usually because she committed a sinful act. And one of the most popular ones in the stories is sleeping with a priest. Scandalous. So that can lead to you being turned into a headless mule.
How is she being punished for that?
That's a very good question.
Didn't have a vow of abstinence.
Right? The priest should become a mule.
Honestly, a headless mule.
Yes. No, he's not cool enough to be a headless mule. So yeah, she's cursed. Sometimes for sleeping with a priest, sometimes for other things. And basically she is then transformed into the mule and condemned to gallop around at night. Some of them only transform on like specific days.
Oh.
And then on that night they have to be a mule. But some of them are also mules all the time.
Oh, I see.
Depends a little bit. Maybe depends which priest you slept with. And you have to be careful with if you meet her, because she might trample you down. She's very aggressive with her hoofy woofies.
Hoofy woofies.
Hoofy woofies. But if you're a chivalrous hero and you're brave enough to remove her bridle, you will lift the curse and then she will marry you and she will be a lovely wife, apparently. So if you're looking for a wife, there you go. You don't need any dating apps, anything. Just find a headless mule.
I did not know about the full myth because I feel like my parents didn't really tell me a lot about like Brazilian myths. They just use the ones that like scare children to like do things.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them as well. They're always popular.
Always. I find it surprising that she gets a happy ending. Like, she gets a brave husband.
She gets a brave husband. If she's lucky.
If he's brave enough.
That's
interesting that she gets sort of an absolution of her crimes in a way.
Yeah, she kind of has her punishment, but then when it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
She can sort of like make up for it in a sense.
And also that like she gets to be a maiden again. Because she gets to marry.
Yeah, that's true.
Huh.
Interesting. So apparently it's not that bad if you sleep with a priest. Just enough so you have to be a mule for a bit.
I wouldn't mind being a headless mule.
It sounds fun.
Sign me up. Where's the next priest?
But apparently, because she's on fire, it's also very uncomfortably hot, I've read.
Oh.
Yeah.
From like...
From the fire.
No, you've read that from women who were headless mules.
Women who were headless mules
have
reported that it's uncomfortably hot to be a flaming headless mule.
I mean, I would guess so.
So let's get to that main ghost story from Brazil. And it is fittingly called Creature of the Night.
Ooh, that's very nice.
And the version you're about to hear, I adapted from a book by Livia de Almeida and Ana Portella called Brazilian Folktales. It was pretty much the only one I could find in English that's written by Brazilians and not by some European person.
Fair enough.
So I was like, I'm gonna use that one. And this story was collected in a region whose name Anna will tell you.
Maranhão.
That's in the north of Brazil. In the original version, this story contains chants that are a mix of Portuguese and the native Brazilian language spoken in that region, but unfortunately they don't tell us which language exactly that is, which is a shame because I would have liked to know. So I didn't change anything about the characters or the plot or the structure, but I just expanded a bit on the descriptive elements for the vibes.
Oh, nice.
Maria was a young woman who lived by herself in a hut by the shore. Her life was one of hard work, day in and day out. She woke before sunrise to carry heavy buckets of water from the well, and she stayed up late drying meat by the fire. Her only companion, her only friend was her dog, who followed her faithfully wherever she went. Sometimes Maria dreamed of a better life, a life filled with laughter and music, a life where she would gather a group of friends around her table, a life where she might find a lover who held her close in their heart. She dreamed of a life filled with joy, but these dreams were short-lived and always buckled under the strain of her tedious daily life. One day at sunset, when dark blue began to descend on the sky, Maria was at home when she suddenly heard a distant melody. It was so sweet, so light and yet so full of woe that it made her want to cry and laugh at the same time. It was the voice of a man that sang there so sweetly, rich and deep, dark and mysterious as the ocean at night. And yet it sounded familiar. But Maria could not understand the words of the man's song. The voice approached Maria's house. Her heart hammered wildly against her ribcage, and she longed for nothing more than to be with the person whose voice enchanted her so. Through the window she could see a dark silhouette outside, standing by the door. She hurried to open it and let the stranger inside. But all of a sudden her dog rose to his feet and began to sing, "Go away if you look for Maria is not there." And when Maria opened the door, there was no one there. The silhouette had disappeared into thin air. Maria was gripped by rage. Furiously she kicked her dog and shouted at him, "You stupid animal!" The dog just winced and withdrew into his corner. He laid his head on his front paws and looked at Maria from sad, dark eyes. The next day, as night began to fall, Maria once again heard the voice, the sweet, irresistible voice approaching her hut. To make sure her dog would not send the stranger away again, she tied him in the backyard and fastened a rope around his jaws so that he could not make a sound. Then she went to sit at the window and gazed out into the night, waiting for the man as his song drew nearer and nearer. And when she saw his silhouette arrive by the door, the shape she so longed to see, the dog through its tight jaws began to sing, "Go away if you look for Maria is not there." Maria stormed out into the backyard and in a fit of rage killed her dog, her loyal companion of many years, and buried him where she was in the backyard. The next evening at sunset, Maria once again waited by the window, anxiously awaiting the arrival of the voice. And the voice came, as darkly melodic as ever. When she saw the silhouette by the door, another voice suddenly rang through the night. "Go away if you look for Maria is not there." The dog sang his song from the grave. Maria dug up the dog's body and burnt it to ashes, certain that now the dog would be silent.
That's so Brazilian. No, go on. He couldn't have just died.
No!
She needs to burn him, sorry.
Maria dug up the dog's body and burnt it to ashes, certain that now the dog would be silent. But when the voice moved closer to her house again the next night, the dog's ashes by the hearth sang, as clearly as ever, "Go away if you look for Maria is not there." Blind with rage, Maria gathered together the ashes that absurdly still sang, carried them to a cliff and threw them deep into the sea. And the next day, Maria prepared. She bathed in perfumed water and brushed her long black silken hair with 100 brush strokes. She put on her best dress, her Sunday dress. Then she sat down by the window, her heart pounding so hard it might break out of her chest. And when darkness started to descend, she heard the voice singing in the distance. The song grew louder and louder, and Maria knew that the song had never sounded sweeter, that she had never yearned more for the touch of the owner of that exquisite voice. A dark silhouette appeared in the doorway. There was no other voice, and the beast came in.
That is so scary.
Right? I read that like yesterday by myself and it was already dark and I was like, ugh.
No?
It really scared me.
I mean, you wouldn't. You would be
I would
giving
be
the
like,
dog treats.
I would be like,
Like, thank goodness a strange man's not coming here.
Yes. Very true.
Poor dog.
Yes, the poor dog. It's so sad.
Also, not to shame Maria.
She's a bitch.
She deserves it. Like, killed her dog, burned his bones.
The dog is trying to protect you.
Yeah.
And what do you do, Maria?
Like, I get the desperation, but girlie, that's how it feels like sometimes when you try to tell your friends, hey, don't date that man.
Mm-hmm. Like,
go away from Maria.
But the mystery voice is so sexy. No, Maria, stop.
We've all been the dog, and some of us have been Maria as well.
Be the dog.
Be the dog.
Be the dog, but not if your friends are Maria.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be anyone in this story.
No.
It doesn't go well.
This podcast does not pass the dog dies at the end test.
No. Now I need a content warning.
Yeah.
Because the dog died.
The dog does die. Several times.
Yeah. Like, Maria is a little over-the-top aggressive.
Way to beat a dead dog.
Honestly, that woman needs to chill. And unfortunately, we're sort of running out of time. We have to wrap it up.
We do.
Anna needs to return to the other world, to the other Halloween ghosts and fairies. So unfortunately, we have to say our goodbyes now.
Thank you for all of these lovely stories and for an incredible atmosphere you've created.
Thank you for coming and sitting in the dark with all these candles with me.
I love being part of the Midnight Culture Club.
See, it's being recommended. You should join.
Very highly.
Thank you so much for being here, for your expert Brazilian knowledge.
I don't think it was very expert. But
I mean, thanks to you, we had correctly pronounced Brazilian words.
Yay.
Because I would have failed miserably.
That's fine.
It was so nice that you were here. You can say goodbye, and then I will say goodbye to everyone at the end.
Thank you, and goodbye.
And thank you, gorgeous creatures of the night, for attending this spooky, spectacular Halloween meeting of the Midnight Culture Club. I hope you had a frightfully good time. If so, let me know in a comment underneath the episode, or by giving this podcast a night sky themed, meaning many stars rating. And of course, adhere to the first rule of Midnight Culture Club, or the ghosts will get you. Tell everyone your favourite ghoul, the Sky Meat Snackers, Hosier, tell all of them about Midnight Culture Club. The next episode is going to be a regular one, out on Friday 15th of November, and of course I hope to see you then, here on the nocturnal side. Sweet dreams and good night.